dash 600. And then let's make it rounded. So rounded dash, we'll do LG for that. Now, when we hover over it, I want to have a different color. So let's say hover colon BG dash violet dash 800. So it goes from 600 to 800. Also on hover, let's take the border and make that violet, violet dash, and we'll do 800 as well. Okay, save that, good. And we can add a little duration to it as well. So right here we'll say duration, say 200. All right, cool. So that's the upper container, right? Now this div ends right here. So after these two divs, that's where we're going to put the border, which is going to be really simple. We're just going to do a class of border, and we're going to, or sorry, border top, border T, and then the color we'll do border slate dash 700. Nothing in it, no content, and there we go. Okay, and then we want to do the lower container, which is going to include the list items, as you can see here with the SVG checks. So let's do that. We'll go right under the border, and let's say lower container. There I go with my zeros again. So for this, let's do, say, P-8, and we want the same amount of space that we have here and here. So this time we're going to do same thing, MX3, but we want to do margin bottom 3. Remember, the top part we did MT3. So let's add that. Let's do rounded on the bottom only. So rounded dash B dash XL, and then BG dash slate dash 800. Okay, so if I save that, now we have our bottom. And if I were to do MB, let's say 10, that's going to extend the bottom. So if you want to play around with it, just like with any project, of course you can do that. Now in the lower container, we're going to have our list container. So this is going to be, this is for the, the 3 list items. So I'm going to give it a class of flex, and it's going to go vertically. So we want a flex call, and then the space in between each items, or each item, will do 2. All right, and then we'll have our first list item. We'll just say list item 1. And basically the list item is going to be an SVG check and just some text in a span. So I'm going to wrap this in flex and also just justify center, just to have everything aligned vertically. So the SVG, I'm going to just grab and paste it in. You can grab it from the repository, from the code, or you can just copy this if you want. It's just an SVG with some attributes and 2 path elements as well. So that'll give us the check. If I save that, you're going to see the check. And then right under the SVG, let's just do a span. We'll give it a text small class and just push it over a little bit. So we'll do, let's do margin left 1. And for the text, we'll say 100 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so that's our first list item. Now what I'll do is grab, so this list item ends here. So we'll just take this, copy it, and let's do one more and one more. So this will be list item 3. This will be list item 2. And we just want to change the text. So instead of that, let's see, what does it say? Option to add members. Option to add members. And then down here, change this text to extra member benefits. And there we go. So now we have our first column, our first card. And now we pretty much can just copy that 2 more times, and then just add the middle to have a different color background on the outer div and button, and then we're pretty much done. So let's grab column 1. So let's just make sure we find out where this ends, which is right here. And then we're going to grab call 1 with the comment. And we'll go right under here, paste it in. That's 1 and then 2. And let's just change call 1 here. This is the last one, so that's column 3. This one here is going to be column 2. Save that. And there we go. So now they all stack on top of each other on small screens. And if we make this wider, then they're all in a row. Now before we add the coloring for the middle one, let's do the rest of the content. And you can see on the final project, so this one here, we're going to say standard, 200 gigs, etc. So let's go to column 2, which is, let's see, that's 1. This is 2, so I'm going to change basic to standard. And let's change this to, what is it, 200 gigabytes. The pricing is going to be $3.99 per month. And down here, just want to change that to 200 gigs. And I think that should be good for the data for the second one. And then the third one is going to be the premium package, which is going to be 2 terabytes. It's quite a jump. Definitely the best deal, $8.99 per month. And let's see, we just want to change this right here to 2 terabytes of storage. Okay, now for the coloring, the middle one, which I guess the middle one is the best value according to this. So we just want to add a background color to the outer div. So let me just find column 2. I think I might have passed it. Yeah, that's column 1. This is column 2 right here. So let's see. We have the outer div, which is this right here, has the BG Slate 700. The inner div is 800, which is this. So I'm going to change this from BG Slate 700 to Violet 600 and save that. And now that has the outline. I also want to change the button color. So in here, there is no BG color. There's the BG on hover of Violet 800. So let's just add BG-Violet 600 for the default color. All right, and that is it. Okay, so I think these are pretty nice. Now you can take it further if you want to maybe take the middle one, which is supposed to be the best value, and make it bigger. You could do that. If you want to change up the colors, if you want to add more or less rows, whatever you want to do with it, I would suggest that you mess around with these projects and, just to get familiar with all the classes. All right, now I know that typing in all these classes can be a little tedious, but that's kind of the point of this course, is to really drill this stuff into your brain. As we move along and as we create stuff, you're going to just understand what all these do. So if you need to quickly move something in a layout or just change things up, you can do it really easily. That's my goal for you guys for this course. All right, so let's move on to the next project.